The following matchup is being played with History Maker Baseball Express, a fast-playing baseball simulation board game, a property of Play Games LLC, copyright 2022, all rights reserved. Welcome to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. In today's episode, man oh man, do we have a great high noon showdown between the Chicago White Sox of 1984 and the Boston Red Sox of, I want to say, I believe 2019. Yes, 2019, as we are going to feature some college hit machines in Andrew Benintendi for the Red Sox and Robin Ventura Andrew Benintendi for the Red Sox and Robin Ventura for the White Sox. Who will come out on top of this matchup? Well, I guess you're going to have to tune in to find out because game one is coming up next. But before we get to first pitch, let's have a little look and say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of Cross Era Showdown as part of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. We would like to take time to say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. This episode, first of all, is being brought to you by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And again, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. Hey, it's a blend of hops, rice, and barley that gives Bitty Beer its taste. But we know better. It's our brewing process that gives our beer that one-of-a-kind flavor that no premium beer can match. Our vats have never been cleaned. There's an itty-bitty bit of history in every can. Bitty Beer, the beer for folks who can't afford better. And by Doc Cola, the official cola drink of the Play Games community. Doc Cola uses the finest ingredients to bring you that sugary blast of caffeine you've come to know and love. Twice the sugar and 3 times the caffeine of any other major. Doc Cola is sure to keep fired up from dawn till dusk. Take the Doc Cola challenge. See why our customers agree you'll never be able to wean yourself from a refreshing Doc Cola. And by Pizza Kingdom, the official pizza joint of the Play Games community. Pizza Kingdom, our signature New York style pizza, starts with crust. Then we layer on our homemade pizza sauce and load your pizza up with mounds of cheese. When it comes out of the oven, piping hot, golden brown, and ready for you to enjoy. Then we give the majestic culinary work of art to Mikey, our 16-year-old delivery driver who was responsible as a tree. Pizza Kingdom, it's sheer perfection. Left the store. And by Suncoast Capital Banks. At Suncoast Capital, we live by one simple rule of investing. When our clients win, we win. When our clients lose, we win. Suncoast Capital, you know we're going to get all of your money anyway. And by Rubicon Wireless. Why pay $200 a month for wireless service when you get 4 lines for just $25 a month? With our tin can plan, you can access our wireless network that covers at 25% of coast to coast between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. with unlimited text and messaging those hours, of course. So why overpay for service you cannot live out? Rubicon Wireless. And we're just about set and ready to go for game one of this episode of Cross Era Showdown between a couple of college hit machines between Andrew Benintendi and Robin Ventura as the 1994 White Sox take on the 2019 Boston Red Sox. It's the Battle of the Sox here On this episode of Cross Era Showdown, your Game 1 probables are Eduardo Rodriguez for Boston, as he will be opposed by Alex Fernandez for the White Sox. Both pitchers come in with the flash and control, but they have the semi-qualities for Rodriguez. It's semi-control, while Fernandez has semi-flash. With that being said, we will get things going here from Fenway Park for Game 1 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown between the Boston Red Sox and the Chicago White Sox, as Tim Raines will lead things off for the Chicago White Sox. We'll begin Game 1 with a 1-2-6. Struggler or gilded on Eduardo Rodriguez? No. Hero batter on Raines? No. That is going to be a no-runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Tim Raines is a semi-slugger. The decider die says yes. The black die is a 6. So therefore, the White Sox are going to deal the early blow as Tim Raines will hit it out straight to the monster and gone. Tim Raines with a leadoff home run gives the 94 White Sox on the board early here in this one. We head to the bottom half of the first by the score of White Sox 1, and the Red Sox are coming to bat in their half of the first inning. Two, three, five. 2-3-5. Here we are. Star pitcher on Fernandez? No. Sad sack on Mookie Betts? He is not. That's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. And it looks like Fernandez has semi-flash. And the decider die says he does not have it. So therefore, that 5 is going to remain put, putting the runners on at first and, on second and third for Rafael Devers. Will take his hacks off the men on base chart with a 56. Patient draws the walk. Devers is not patient, so therefore that is going to be a contact result. And I usually roll the red die for my contact chart results. It's a 3. Sad sack or utility? Devers is neither, so therefore that is going to be an RBI. And the game, and the game is tied up at 1-all after 1 inning of play between the Chicago White Sox of 94 and the Boston Red Sox of 2019 in the Battle of the Sox here for Cross Era Showdown. One, 2-6. Struggler or gilded on Erod? No. Hero batter. Yes, hero batter on Joey Cora. He's not. Therefore, it's going to be a no-runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Joey Cora is not, does not have home run king or slugger quality. So therefore, that is going to do it for the top half of the second. The score remains deadlocked at 1-all. 2-4-6. Star pitching on Fernandez? No. Champion on Bogarts? No. That is going to be a no-runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Xander Bogaerts has semi-home run king plus semi-slugger. However, the black die is not a 6. We have to go by the home run king result, and unfortunately, he does not have home run king. So therefore, it'll be a no-runs result of a 4 blank, and that will do it for the first 2 innings here at Fenway. The score between this Battle of the Sox is all dead even at 1 apiece through 2 innings of play. Triple 1. So this is going to be an experience check. Let's roll the black die for this, aka the white number. 5. Experience 5. Icon pitcher or prospect batter. It seems we don't have an icon pitcher and we don't have an icon, or excuse me, prospect batter. So therefore, it's going to be a men on base result. And we have a 3. So therefore, we'll place the runner safely at first and second for Julio Franco off the men on base chart. 24. Goldfielder makes the out. JD Martinez is the designated hitter for this game, and he is not gold. I don't know why, but I don't know why, but I don't know. But DH, when you come to the DH player in the lineup, he's not in the field. So I guess we're going to have to deal with it. So he's not gold. So therefore, it'll be an error. Safe at first is Julio Franco loading up the bases for Robin Ventura off the men on base chart. 24, Goldfielder makes the out. Benintendi is not gold. So therefore, it'll be another error. So 2 errors in the inning, and that is going to score the game's second run for the White Sox as the 94 White Sox lead it over the 2019 Red Sox by a score of 2-1 as we continue to roll on the men on base chart for Darren Jackson. 44, wild pitcher on Erod. No. So therefore, that is going to be a fly out now. So that is going to do it for the top half of the third. The White Sox cross home 1 run, and that's all they're going to get. So after 2.5 innings of play, your score is White Sox 2 and the Red Sox 1. Two, 5, 6. 2, 5, 6. Here we are. Workman on Fernandez. No. Sad sack on Benintendi. Oh, I'm sorry. Benintendi was used to check if the fielding rating was that. So it should be on Christian Vasquez now. So we ask, is Vasquez a sad sack? He is not. So therefore, it'll be a men on base result, -1 for the black die. If flash, Fernandez has semi-flash, and it looks like Workman, no. Sad sack, no. So yeah, the decider die was not used. So Fernandez does have flash according to the decider die. So therefore, from 6 to a 5, placing runners at second and third for Mitch Moreland off the men on base chart. We have a 16. Good eye? Mitch Moreland does not have a good eye. So therefore, that is going to be a strikeout. Good job by the White Sox pitching staff to keep this game at a 1-run lead. The score after 3 innings of play is the 94 White Sox 2 and the 2019 Red Sox 1. 3-3-4. 3-3-4. 3-3-4. Here we are. Star pitcher on Fernandez. He is not. Utility. Oh, I'm sorry. Top of the fourth. Sorry. Erod. We ask Erod, is he a star? No. Utility on Johnson. That is going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die. If control, Erod has semi-control, and the decider die says he does. So therefore, that 3 is gonna be reduced to a 2. And we'll place Johnson on at second for the catcher, Ron Karkovis, off the men on base chart. 34. Slugger hits a double. Karkovis is not a slugger, so therefore that's going to be a single
and a run is going to come across to score. So runners advance 2 bases on the second column of the men on base charts. So with that being said, the White Sox add on to their lead. It's 3-1 in favor of the 1994 Chicago White Sox. 155 on Michael Chavis. 155. Ace pitcher on Fernandez. No. Hero on Chavis. No. That's going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. And that is going to seal up the deal for the first 4 innings of game 1 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown. It's 1994 White Sox 3 and the 2019 Red Sox 1. $145. Acer Dynamic on Erod. No. Satsack on Ozzy. No. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Erod does have flash. So that 5 will be reduced to a 4, putting the runners at the corners for Tim Raines off the men on base chart. We have a 35. Control pitcher. Erod is a semi-control pitcher. The decider die says he's not. Therefore, that is going to load up the bases for Joey Cora off the men on base chart. And we do see the pen active for the Red Sox, just in case. 23. Eager grounds out. Joey Cora is not eager, so therefore that is going to end up being a bases loaded walk. Nowhere to put him. It's all of a sudden 4-1 in favor of the Chicago White Sox of 1994. As we do see the pitching coach trot out to the mound to calm down Erod with the interpreter in hand, along with the catcher, Christian Vasquez, to calm him down. No one down by 3 runs. There is still a possibility that the Red Sox could come back in this one. But against a power-dominating offense like the 94 White Sox, I mean, what can you really expect? So therefore, Erod has its marching orders. The big hurt is coming up to the dish with the bases loaded off the men on base chart. 24. Goldfielder makes the out. Jackie Bradley Jr. is not gold. So therefore, that is going to be an error. Runners advance 1 base. It's 5-1 now. Bases are still loaded, full of Chicago White Sox. And that'll bring up Julio Franco off the men on base chart. 36. Active batter gets runners advance 2 bases single plus a stolen base. Julio Franco is not a active runner. So therefore, it's going to be a contact result. And I usually roll the red die for my contact charts. Contact chart results. Excuse me, we have a 3. Satsack or utility on Franco. He's not. So therefore, it's now 6-1 in favor of the 94 White Sox. And that is probably going to be the end of the day for Eduardo Rodriguez, as we do see the bullpen out in deep center field, right center field, for the Red Sox, as they are springing into action to hopefully get things right back into place here, as the 94 White Sox take a huge lead over the 2019 Red Sox by the score of 6-1. $146 on Acer Dynamic on Fernandez. He's a semi-dynamic pitcher. The decider die says he is not. Satsack on Mookie Betts. He is not. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Fernandez does have control. So therefore, that 4 will be reduced to a 3, go big or go home. They want to get some runs on the board. They're going to place Mookie Betts on at third base for Rafael Devers off the men on base chart. 24, Goldfielder makes the out. Robin Ventura is a semi-gold fielder, and the decider die says yes, he is. Wow, a nice leaping grab at the hot corner at third base by Robin Ventura to keep this game at a 6-1 lead for his team. After five innings of play, your score is 94 White Sox 6 and the 2019 Red Sox 1. And we do see a new pitcher trotting in from the bullpen for the 2019 Red Sox. And we'll find out who that is after we take this really quick timeout. And we're back at it here at Fenway Park with a new pitcher on the mound as we begin the top half of the sixth, as it will be Josh Taylor on the mound as he has star, double flash, and full and semi-control. But for this at-bat against Darren Jackson, Taylor will have the full extent use of the semi-ace quality as the Red Sox are trying to come back into this one down by 5 runs. The 94 White Sox still lead it 6-1 over the 2019 Red Sox. Let's see what happens as we resume play here in the top half of the 6th inning. 1-4-6. Ace or dynamic on Taylor. And again, we gave him the semi-ace quality, but however, the decider die says no. Sad sack on Jackson. He's not. Therefore, that's going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if control. It seems Taylor has semi-control, and the decider die says he doesn't. Oh, man, that is bad. Bases loaded, full of White Sox for Lance Johnson off the men on base chart. 15. Oh, gosh. 15. That is going to be a scrapper hits double. Oh, my goodness. Lance Johnson is a scrapper. Oh, that is a huge break for the Red Sox. That is going to be a double. So runner on third is going to score. The runner on second is going to score. The runner on first is going to go to third. So that means it's second and third. Man, oh man, Lance Johnson just missed a home run just shy off of the Green Monster in here at Fenway Park. And that'll bring out the catcher, Ron Karkovis, off the men on base chart. 26, home run king, it's home run. Ron Karkovis is a semi-home run king. The decider die says yes, he is. So therefore, that is not coming back, folks. What you didn't get, I got. As it will now be a 3-run home run for Ron Karkovis. And all of a sudden, folks, the White Sox are routing the 2019 Boston Red Sox by the score of 11-1 here in the top half of the 6th. And we continue to roll off the men on base chart for Ozzie Guillen. 34. Slugger hits double. Ozzie is not a slugger, so therefore that's going to be a single. Oh, clear the bases. There we go. And again, that way it's not confusing anybody. So it will be a single, and that will do it. The score after 5.5 innings of play is the 94 Chicago White Sox 11 and the 2019 Red Sox 1. Xander Bogaerts will lead things off here for the 2019 Red Sox with a 1-5-6. Ace pitcher on Fernandez. No. Sad sack on Bogaerts. No. That's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Fernandez has semi-flash, and the decider die says a small sad sack. No. So yes, decider die was not used. So yes, Fernandez does have flash. So that 5 will be reduced to a 4, putting runners at the corners for J.D. Martinez. 55 off the men on base chart. Batting team dissonant or pitching team harmonious. And unfortunately, I'm not playing. I'm not either team throughout the entirety of the History Maker Baseball Express hour is not taking full advantage of who's hot and who's, or excuse me, who is harmonious and who's dissonant or not. Everyone is on a neutral playing field. So therefore, it's going to be a single. A run will come across the score, and it will remain first and third for Andrew Benintendi as the Red Sox are starting to creep a little bit of life back into their dugout. 11. Batting team harmony or pitching team dissonant. Once again, no one has taken full advantage of who's harmonious and who's dissonant or not. So therefore, it will be a ground out to end the first 6 innings here at Fenway Park. Your score after the first 6 innings is the 94 Chicago White Sox 11 and the 2019 Red Sox 2. We head to the top half of the 7th with a 3-5-6. Workman on Taylor, no. Champ on Tim Raines, no. That's going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. Tim Raines is a semi-slugger. However, the black die is not a 6. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a Workman, no. Champ, no. Yes, decider die was not used. So it'll be a no runs result of a 6 blank. And that is going to take us to the stretch with the fine folks. Note how many number are left here of the Red Sox. Mostly White Sox fans at this point are going to be singing a good chorus of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, along with a beautiful rendition of God Bless America. And we do see a new pitcher trotting in from the pen for the Chicago White Sox as they're up huge by the score of 11-2 as we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Timeout. Welcome back to Fenway Park here for Game 1 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown, as we are featuring some College Hittin Machines in Andrew Benintendi and Robin Ventura. As for this episode of Cross Era Showdown, as the 94 White Sox are in front big 11-2 over the 2019 Red Sox, as we do see a new bullpen arm coming in from the pen, as Paul Ossenmacher will be the new pitcher for the Chicago White Sox. He's a semi-star, full flash, and semi-control pitcher. For this at-bat against Christian Vasquez, Ossenmacher will have the full extent use of the star quality. With that being said, the 94 White Sox are jumping on all cylinders. It's 11-2 in favor of the 94 White Sox as we resume play here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. 2-4-5. Struggler on Ossenmacher, no. Sad sack on Vasquez. That's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die. If flash or control, Ossenmacher does have flash, but the decider die says no to control. So that 4 will be reduced to a 3. They're going to do the same like they did in the last inning. Go big or go home. Put in the runner on at third. They want to try to crawl some runs, get back into this one. With that being said, we head to the men on base chart for Mitch Moreland. 13, fresh relief pitcher gets the pop out. Since Paul Ossenmacher is the bullpen arm, he is considered fresh for the remainder of the game. So therefore, that is going to end up being a pop out to end things here. So the Red Sox threaten but do not score here in the 7th inning. It's still 94 White Sox 11 and the 2019 Red Sox 2. 4-4-6. Star on Taylor. He is a star, so therefore that is going to be a no runs result of a 4 blank, and that will do it for the top half of the 8th. The White Sox are still leading it by the score of 11-2 as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning for the at-bat of Michael Chavis. 1-2-6. Struggler or Gilded on Ossenmacher? Hero on Chavis? No. That's going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. Michael Chavis is semi home run king. The decider die says yes, he does. 1, 2, 6. Struggler, no. Hero, no. So yes, decider die was not used. Michael Chavis is semi home run king. This time he has it. So therefore, he will send this one high, far, and into the monster seats and gone. Michael Chavis hits a solo home run, and all of a sudden it's 11-3, still in favor of the 1994 Chicago White Sox here in the Battle of the Sox as part of the Cross Era Showdown matchup, as we are featuring some college hitting machines between Andrew Benintendi and Robin Ventura. 1, 2, 3. Workman or Struggler on Taylor? No. Champ on Thomas. He's a semi-champ. The decider die says yes, he is. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Thomas is a semi-stoic runner. The decider die says he is stoic, so that 3 will be reduced to a 2, putting the runner on at second base for Julio Franco. We have a 25. Iron fielder commits the error. Jackie Bradley Jr. is a semi-iron fielder, and the decider die says yes, he is. That'll advance the runners 90 feet. Yes, runners advance 90 feet. Julio Franco is safe at first. And here we go to Robin Ventura off the men on base chart. Credit an error to JBJ. 22, batting at home. No, the 94 White Sox are the visitors for game 1 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown, as it will be a flyout to end things here in the top half of the ninth. Last call for the Red Sox. As we head to the bottom half of the ninth, it's 94 White Sox 11 and the 2019 Red Sox 3. 2, 4, 5. Struggler on Ossenmacher? No. Sad sack on Betts? No way. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash or control. Ossenmacher has flashed, so that 4 will be reduced to a 3. And no, he doesn't have control. So therefore, this time they're not going to play it. They're not going to put all the chips in the middle of the table, but they'll put the runners on at first and second for Rafi Devers off the men on base chart. 24, gold fielder makes the out. Darren Jackson is a semi-gold fielder. Oh, but he is not. So therefore, that is going to be an error on Jackson. The bases are loaded, full of Red Sox for Xander Bogaerts. Credit an error to Darren Jackson. And we continue to roll off the men on base chart with a 45. Fresh pitcher gets the ground out. Ossenmacher is the bullpen arm. He is fresh. The Red Sox gave it a chance, but it did not pay off. With that being said, that is going to be the ball game, folks. Your final score here for game 1 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown, as Xander Bogaerts gets a ground out to end it here for game 1 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown. It's the 94 White Sox winning it over the 2019 Red Sox here in game 1 by the final of 11-3. We are on the south side of Chicago, here at the old Comiskey Park here in Chicago, Illinois for Game 2 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown between the 2019 Red Sox and the 1994 Chicago White Sox. It's the Battle of the Sox, as well as we are featuring some College Hittin Machines between Robin Ventura and Andrew Benintendi. With that being said, your probable starters for Game 2 are as follows. Scott Sanderson will be going on the mound for the White Sox, and David Price will be on the mound for the Red Sox. Both pitchers have workmen, but David Price has semi-workmen. Price has full flash and control, but Sanderson has double control, no flash. So with that being said, we're ready to play some baseball here on the south side of Chicago as the 94 White Sox are leading this episode of Cross Era Showdown with a 1-0 lead. This is the Red Sox chance to hopefully crawl back into this series. Otherwise, the 94 White Sox are going to win it all. Will there be a tie going into Game 3? Or will we have a sweep to look forward to in Game 3 by the White Sox? It's time to find out as we play Game 2 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown. We'll begin things with a 1-3-6. Ace pitcher on Sanderson. No. Hero on JD Martinez. He is a hero batter, so therefore that's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. JD Martinez is a semi-stoic runner. The decider die says he's not. The bases are loaded. Yes, the bases are loaded, full of Red Sox for Andrew Benintendi. He'll take his hacks off the men on base chart of an 11. Batting team harmony or pitching team dissonant. Well, again, no one has taken full advantage of who's harmonious or who's dissonant or not. So therefore, it will be a ground out. The Red Sox threaten but do not score here in the top half of the first. We head to the bottom half of the inning with Red Sox nothing, and the White Sox are coming to bat in their half of the first inning. 1-3-4. Ace pitcher on Price. No. Champ on Lance Johnson. No. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 1 dot, and that will do it here for the first inning of play here at Comiskey Park, with the score all wrapped up with big fat goose eggs. 1-2-4. Is Sanderson an ace pitcher? He's not. Champ on Vasquez. He's not. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 4 blank, and that is going to do it for the top half of the second. The Red Sox come away with nothing, and let's see what the White Sox have in their half of the second inning here for Game 2 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown. 1-2-3. Workman or struggler on Price. He's a semi-workman. The decider die says yes, he is. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Ron Karkabis is a stoic runner, so that one will be reduced to a big fat goose egg. So therefore, it'll be a no runs result of a 3 dot. So far, so good for the Red Sox. After 2 innings of play, your score remains at a big fat goose egg of a scoreless tie. 4-4-5. Workman on Sanderson. He is a workman, so therefore that is going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Mitch Moreland is a semi-stoic runner. The decider die says he's not. That is going to place the runners on at second and third for Michael Chavis off the men on base chart. We have a 22 batting at home. No, the Red Sox this time are on the road at the old Comiskey Park. And unfortunately, that is going to be a flyout. So the Red Sox threaten, but do not score in their half of the third. And after 2.5 innings of play, the score is a big fat goose egg between the 2019 Red Sox and the 1994 Chicago White Sox. 2-3-3. Ace pitcher on Price. He is not. Champ on Ozzy. He's not. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 3 dot. And that is going to do it for the first 3 innings here at Comiskey Park with your score at a big fat goose egg. Who is going to be the first to blink here in game 2 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown? 1-2-6. Struggler or Gilded on Sanderson? No. Hero on Bradley? No. That is going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. Oh, the black die is not a 6. JBJ had slugger, but the black die, in this case, the white number, is not a 6. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 6 blank. And that is going to do it for the first 3.5 innings of this one. Your score is a big fat goose egg between the 2019 Red Sox and the 1994 Chicago White Sox. Uh, 1-4-5. Ace or Dynamic on Price? No. Sad Sack on Tim Raines? No way. That is going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if flash. And it seems David Price has flash. So therefore, that black one will be reduced to a big fat goose egg. We are scoreless after 4 innings of play of a no runs result of a 4 dot. And that is going to do it for the first 4 innings here at the old Comiskey Park on the south side of Chicago, with the score of a big fat goose egg between the 94 White Sox and the 2019 Boston Red Sox. Two, 4, 6. Star on Sanderson? No. 2, 4, 6. Here we are. Champion on Mookie Betts? He's not. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. This time, the black die is a 6. Mookie Betts has slugger. Therefore, it is hit high, bar, and gone. Mookie Betts hits a solo home run to get the 2019 Red Sox on the board. They need this one in order to send this series to a winner-take-all game. After 4.5 innings of play, the Red Sox lead the 94 White Sox by a score of 1-0. This roll is for the bottom half of the 5th. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. Here we are. Star pitching on Price? No. Champ on Joey Cora? No. That is going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Joey Cora does not have home run king or slugger, so therefore that is going to do it for the first 5 innings of this one. The Red Sox hang on by a 1-0 lead. We head to the 6th inning here at Comiskey Park, as it will be a no runs result of a 2 dot. And that is going to send us straight to the 6th inning with the 2019 Red Sox leading the 94 White Sox by a score of 1-0. 1-2-4. Ace pitcher on Sanderson? No. Champ on Devers? He's a semi-champ. The decider die says no. Therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 2 blank, and that is going to seal up the deal for the top half of the 6th. The Red Sox hang on by a dire thread if they still hang on to a 1-0 lead at Oh, excuse me, after 5.5 innings of play. Four, 4, 6. Let's see here. Star pitcher on Price. No. Hero batter on Thomas. He's a semi-hero. The decider die. Oh, I'm sorry. He's a full hero. Excuse me. So therefore, that's a men on base result with a base running adjustment, as it will be a semi-stoic result for Frank Thomas. And the decider die was not used. Let me just double check. 446, star, no, hero, yes. Yes, decided I was not used. So therefore, he's not stoic. Therefore, you can't go higher than a 6. The bases are loaded, full of White Sox. Oh boy, that pen is getting loose just in case. This will be David Price's last inning no matter what. So with that being said, we go to the men on base chart with a 55. Batting team dissonant or pitching team harmony. Unfortunately, the no team throughout the inaugural season of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour is not taking full advantage of who's dissonant or who's harmony. So therefore, it's going to be a single, nowhere to put them. Runners advance 2 bases. So the White Sox are going to take a 2-1 lead as the runner on third scores, the runner on second scores, the runner on first goes to third. It's first and third for yeah, because it was Thomas. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was Franco. So yeah, Thomas got on base. So Franco scored. So yeah, I remembered. So now it's first and third for Robin Ventura off the men on base chart. 14. Scrapper hits single. Unfortunately, Ventura is not a scrapper. So therefore, that is going to be a bases clearing double. 2 more runs are going to come across to score. As it is now 4-1 in favor of the 1994 Chicago White Sox. And the bullpen for the Red Sox is quickly starting to get loose out in deep, out beyond the right field wall here at Comiskey Park here in Chicago. And again, your score is now 4-1 in favor of the 1994 Chicago White Sox as we resume play here in the bottom half of the 6th inning off the men on base chart with a 35 control pitcher on Price. Yes, he does. So therefore, that's going to be a ground out to limit the damage right there. All of a sudden, it's now a 4-1 lead for the Chicago White Sox of 1994. And my goodness, folks, we are in store for the final 3 innings of this ball game. What is it going to bring? I don't know, but we'll find out after we take this really quick timeout, as we do see a new pitcher trotting in from the pen for the White Sox here for Game 2 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown. And we'll find out who that is after we take this really quick timeout. We're on to the top half of the 7th here at Comiskey Park with the score 94 White Sox 4 and the 2019 Red Sox 1, as Dennis Cook will be the new pitcher for the Chicago White Sox. He has semi-star and full flash credited to his name. Without further expansions or delays, Dennis Cook for this at-bat against Xander Bogaerts will have the full extent use of the star quality. With that being said, we resume play here in the top half of the 7th. It's 94 White Sox 4 and the 2019 Red Sox 1. 3-5-6. Workman on Cook. No. Champ on Bogaerts. No. That's going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. Xander Bogaerts has semi-home run king. The decider die was not used. Yes, it was not used. So therefore, that one is going to be not coming back, folks. It is hit high, far, and gone as Xander Bogaerts will deliver another home run for the Red Sox. And it's all of a sudden the lead is cut in half by the score of 4-2 in favor of the 94 White Sox, as we do see a new pitcher trotting in from the pen for the 2019 Red Sox. Well, the fine folks here at Comiskey Park sing a good rendition of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" along with "God Bless America." We'll allow the new pitcher to take up his warm-up tosses, and while we do so, we will take this quick timeout. And it seems that Marcus Walden is going to be the new pitcher chosen by the Red Sox manager, as he has semi-start, full flash, and semi-control for this outing out of the pen. And it seems against the at-bat for Lance Johnson, Marcus Walden will have the full extent use of the full star quality. We resume play here in the bottom half of the seventh, with the score 94 White Sox 4 and the 2019 Red Sox 2. We have a 1-1-4. Struggler on Walden. No. Champ on Johnson. No. That's going to be a no runs result of a 1 dot. And that is huge, folks. That is really, really huge to keep this game right here as we go to the 8th inning by the score of the 94 White Sox 4 and the 2019 Red Sox 2. Two, 3-5. Star pitcher on Cook. He's a semi-star. The decider dice says he's not. Sad sack on JD Martinez. No way. That's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Cook has flash. That 3 will be reduced to a 2. There's runners on second base for Andrew Benintendi. We have a 66. Oh my. Scrapper hits single. Benintendi is not a scrapper. So therefore, that is going to be a double. All of a sudden, it's a 1-run game now. Oh boy. Hang on to your hats, folks. We could be in for a wild finish here. 23. Eager grounds out. Christian Vasquez is a semi-eager batter, and the decider die says yes, he is. The Red Sox do add on another run, but not at the expense of the White Sox fans, as they are booing the Red Sox in this heated rivalry in the Battle of the Soxes between the Chicago White Sox and the Boston Red Sox, as we will head to the bottom of the 8th with your score 94 White Sox 4 and the 2019 Boston Red Sox 3. Three, 5, 6. Workman on Walden. No. Champ on... I think Karkovas batted, but just in case, timeout while I check to make sure that Karkovas batted. Timeout. And after further review, the batter is Ron Karkovas, so we will keep the roll here with a 4-5-6 of a Workman on Walden. He's not. Champ on Karkovas. He's not. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. Karkovas is semi-home run king, but the decider die says he does not. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 3 blank. And that is going to be all she wrote for the first 8 innings of this one. The 94 White Sox hang on by 1 run. We head to the 9th. Last call for the 2019 Red Sox. Can they tie things up? Let's find out. It's 94 White Sox 4 and the 2019 Red Sox 3. 4-4-6. Star pitcher on Cook. He's a semi-star. The decider die says no. Champion on Moreland. He's not a champion. That is going to be a no runs result with a possibility. Oh, I'm sorry. Star pitcher, semi-star, Decider Die says no. Hero on Moreland, he's not. So yeah, therefore, it's going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. And it seems that the black die is a 6. Mitch Moreland does have slugger. Therefore, he is going to hit one high, hit one far, and it is gone. The 2019 Red Sox have tied up the game at 4-all as we head to the bottom of the ninth. Your score is all dead even at 4 between the 2019 Red Sox and the 2019 Red Sox and the 1994 White Sox by each scoring 4 runs. Oh my word. Ozzie Guillen will step up to the plate for the White Sox. 3-5-6. Workman on Walden. No. Champ on Guillen. No. That is going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Oh, and Ozzie Guillen doesn't have slugger or home run king. So therefore, that we are going to extra innings here at Comiskey Park with your score all dead even at 4 between the 2019 Red Sox and the 1984 White Sox. My, oh my, oh my, oh my. We begin the 10th inning here with Michael Chavis up to the dish. 1-2-3. Workman or Struggler on Cook? No. Champ on Chavis? No. Oh, excuse me. That's going to be a no runs result of a 1 blank. And that is going to do it for the top half of the 10th. We head to the bottom half of the inning. Chance for the White Sox to walk things off here. Can they do it? Let's head to the bottom of the 10th right now with the score all dead even at 4. 3-4-4. Workman on Walden. Sad sack on Reigns. No. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die. If control, Walden has semi-control. And the decider die was not used. Workman, no. Sad sack, no. Yes, decider die was not used. So Walden does have control. So that 3 will be reduced to a 2. The winning run is on at second base for Joey Cora off the men on base chart. 12. Slugger hits home run. Joey Cora is not a slugger. So that is going to be a single and your ball game. The final score in 10 innings is the 1994 White Sox 5 and the 2019 Red Sox 4. Again, the final is the 94 White Sox 5 and the 2019 Red Sox 4. And man, oh man, what a. So far, it's been one-sided here in this episode of Cross Era Showdown between the 1994 White Sox and the 2019 Red Sox, as the Chicago White Sox are on the verge of a 3-game sweep, but nothing that the Red Sox could do is just be awed and admired by the 94 White Sox performance in this series. With that being said, we have ourselves a Game 3 setup for a sweep for the 94 White Sox. But can the Red Sox find a way to salvage a game in this series? It's time to find out, because your probable pitching matchups is going to be Chris Sale for going for Boston, and Jack McDowell will be on the mound for the White Sox. Chris Sale is ready to go, and so is the big hurt Frank Thomas. And let's get to it here for Game 3 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown. Will it be a White Sox sweep, or will the White Sox win 2 of 3? 126. Struggler or Gilded on Sale? No. Hero on Thomas. He is a hero, so therefore that is going to be a no. That is going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. The big hurt Frank Thomas is a semi-stoic runner. The decider die says he's not, so therefore that'll place the runner on at first base for Julio Franco off the men on base chart. 22, batting at home. No, the White Sox are on the road for Game 3. So therefore, that is going to be a flyout to end the top half of the first. So the White Sox leave a runner on. And after a half inning of play, it's White Sox nothing. And the Red Sox are coming back in their half of the first inning. 3-4-5. Star on McDowell. No. Champ. 3-4-5. Oh, Sadsack. I'm sorry. Sadsack on Bradley. No. Men on base result, -1 for the black die if flash or control. Jack McDowell does have he does have control. So that 3 will be reduced to a 2. And yes, he does have flash. So therefore, that 2 will be reduced to a 1. That'll place JBJ on at first base for Mookie Betts off the men on base chart. 13. Fresh relief pitcher gets the pop out. Unfortunately for Red Sox fans tuning in, Jack McDowell is a fresh pitcher, because I play it as 3 full fresh and 3 semi-fresh. With that being said, the Red Sox will get a man on first, but nothing more. After 1 inning of play, here in Game 3 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown, the score remains a big fat goose egg between the 94 White Sox and the 2019 Boston Red Sox. Two, 3, 4. Here we are. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, we're in the full freshness innings because I play it as 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh. 2, 3, 4. Sadsack on Ventura. Get out of here. No way. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. And it seems Sale does have control. So that 2 will be reduced to a 1. As that will be placed as Ventura. Excuse me. Will go on at first for Darren Jackson off the men on base chart. Oh my goodness, 66. Scrapper hits single. Darren Jackson is not a scrapper, so therefore that is going to be a bases clearing double. And unfortunately, the White Sox are going to strike first yet again. So it is a double, RBI double for Darren Jackson, and that is going to bring up Lance Johnson off the men on base chart. 56. Patient draws the walk. Johnson is not patient, so therefore that's going to be a contact result. And I roll the red die for my contact chart. Results. We have a 2. Sadsack. Unfortunately, Johnson is not a Sadsack, so therefore he's going to get another run to cross the plate. As after 1.5 innings of play, it's 94 White Sox 2, and the 2019 Boston Red Sox nothing. Uh, 356. 356. Here we are. Workman on McDowell. No. Champ on Devers. He's a semi-champ. The decider die says yes, he is. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Devers is a neutral runner. The bases are loaded, full of Red Sox for Xander Bogaerts. 25. Iron fielder commits the error. Ron Karkovis is the catcher for this ball game, and it seems he does not have iron. So therefore, that is going to be a ground out to end the top half, or excuse me, to end the first 2 innings here. The Red Sox threaten but do not score after 2 innings of play. It's the 94 White Sox 2 and the 2019 Red Sox nothing. Let's see here. Triple two. So this is going to be a ballpark check. So in this case, it's going to be at Fenway. And let me dig out the charts here really quick. Here we go. Ballpark charts. And here we are. Fenway Park is a small ballpark for right-handers, a grass surface, and a normal ballpark for left-handers. And let's see what we got for the roll of the die, and we'll use the white die here. We have a 4 on a ballpark check. Is Fenway Park a big ballpark? Unfortunately, we have a lefty up at the dish here in the top half of the third for Ozzie Guillen, or excuse me, an Ozzie Guillen. So therefore, no, it's not. So therefore, it will be a flyout to end the top half of the third. And after 2.5 innings of play, your score remains 94 White Sox 2 and the 2019 Boston Red Sox nothing. Triple one. So this is going to be an experience check. My goodness, another microchart visit. We have a 4. Prospect pitcher, McDowell, get out of here. He's not a prospect. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 1 dot. And that is going to do it for the first 3 innings here of game 3 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown with your score 94 White Sox 2 and the 2019 Red Sox nothing. Four, 5, 6. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, we're in the semi-freshness innings now, and Chris Sale is not fresh. So therefore, it's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Tim Raines is a neutral runner. The bases are loaded, full of 94 White Sox for Joey Cora. 25 off the men on base chart. Iron fielder commits the error. Benintendi is not an iron fielder, so therefore that is going to be a ground out. The White Sox threaten but do not score. Here in the top half of the fourth, we go to the bottom half of the inning with your score remaining 94 White Sox 2 and the 2019 Red Sox nothing. Uh, 134. 134. Here we are. Ace pitcher on McDowell. No. Champ on Vasquez. He is not. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 3 dot. And that is going to do it for the first 4 innings here at Fenway Park with your score 94 White Sox 2 and the 2019 Red Sox nothing. One, 2, 3. Workman or struggler on sale. He's a semi-workman. The decider die says he is not. Champ on the big hurt, Frank Thomas. He's a semi-champ. The decider die says, sorry about that. 126. Okay, so blank. So therefore, again, 126 is the roll. It'll be a no runs result of. Oh, I'm sorry, 123. It'll be a no runs result of a. It'll be, yes, it will be a no runs result by the roll that we had. I'm sorry, I pressed the wrong button on the main chart of a 1-2-3. So therefore, it'll be a no runs result, and we go to the bottom half of the fifth with your score: White Sox 2 and Red Sox nothing. 146. Acer dynamic on McDowell. He's a semi-dynamic. The decider die says he is not. 146. Here we are. Satsack on Moreland. He's not. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result with a -1 for the black die if control. Jack McDowell does have control, so therefore that one will be reduced to a big fat 0. It will be a no runs result of a 4 blank, and that is going to do it for the first 5 innings of this ball game. It's close. Anybody can still win it. The score is 94 White Sox 2 and the 2019 Red Sox nothing. $156. Ace pitcher on sale. No. Satsack on Julio Franco. No. That is going to be a men on base. Yes, men on base result with a -1 for the black die at flash. Chris Sale has double flash. Man, oh man, that 6 will be reduced to a 4, putting runners at the corners. So from bases loaded to runners on first and third, we go to the men on base chart for Robin Ventura. With a 56, patient batter draws the walk. Ventura is semi-patient. The decider die says he is not. Therefore, it's going to be a contact result. And I usually roll the red die for my contact chart results. We have a 4. Champer Hero. Ventura is a semi-hero, and the decider die says he is. That is going to tack on another run, as Robin Ventura will get an RBI, and that will do it for the top half of the 6th. Your score is now 94 White Sox 3 and the 2019 Red Sox nothing. Three, 4, 6. Pitcher not fresh, and again, we're still in the semi-freshest innings. So therefore, Jack McDowell is still considered fresh according to the decider die. Hero batter on Chavis. He's not a hero. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. Michael Chavis does have home run king. The decider die says he does. So therefore, the Red Sox are going to get on the board courtesy of Michael Chavis' solo home run, as the 94 White Sox now lead it 3-1 as the 2019 White Sox do get on the board courtesy of a Michael Chavis solo home run. After 6 innings of play, it's 94 White Sox 3 and the 2019 Red Sox 1. And we do see a new pitcher trotting in from the bullpen for the 2019 Red Sox, and we will find out who that is after we take this really quick timeout. And we're back here at Fenway Park with the score 94 White Sox 3, 2019 Red Sox 1, as Brandon Workman will be on the mound for the Boston Red Sox, as he has full ace and double flash and semi-wild. For this at-bat against Darren Jackson, Brandon Workman is going to have the full extent use of the semi-star quality. With that being said, Darren Jackson is all set to bat, and so is Brandon Workman ready to pitch. Let's resume action here in the top half of the seventh with the score 94 White Sox 3 and the 2019 Red Sox 1. We have a 3-3-5. Struggler on Workman. No. Champ on Jackson. No. Wow. No runs result of a 3 blank. And that is going to take us to the stretch here at Fenway with your score 94 White Sox 3 and the 2019 Red Sox 1. 1-3-3. Ace on McDowell. No. Satsack on JBJ. No. That's going to be an RBI question mark result. And unfortunately, the decider die says no. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 1 blank. And that is going to do it for the first 7 innings of play here in Game 3 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown. Man, I'm getting ahead of myself today. Jeez. With your score, 94 White Sox 3 and the 2019 Red Sox 1. 4-5-6. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, Workman is the bullpen arm, so he is considered fresh for the remainder of the contest. Champ on Johnson. He's not. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Lance Johnson does not have a home run king or slugger. So therefore, that's going to do it for the top half of the 8th with a 4 no runs result. And we head to the bottom half of the inning with your score. It's a close one. It's still anybody's game. 94 White Sox 3 and the 2019 Red Sox 1. Jack McDowell is back out there on the mound with a 1-4-6. Ace or dynamic? McDowell is a semi-dynamic pitcher, and the decider die says yes, he is. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 6 and that is going to do it for the first 8 innings of this one. Your score after 8 innings is 94 White Sox 3 and the 2019 Red Sox 1. We head to the 9th inning by that score. 1-2-5. Is Workman not fresh? Well, again, Workman is the bullpen arm, so he is considered fresh for the remainder of the contest. Is Karkovis a champion batter? He is not. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank, and that is going to do it for the top half of the 9th. Last call for the 2019 Red Sox to hopefully mount a historic comeback to salvage a game in this series. Your score after 8.5 innings of play is 94 White Sox 3 and the 2019 Red Sox 1. 1-1-3. Struggler on McDowell. No. Utility on Devers. No. That is going to be an RBI question mark result. And folks, it is not enough to salvage a game in this series. Devers will get a run home, but that is going to be all she wrote. The 94 White Sox will sweep the 2019 Red Sox in this college hitters showdown between Robin Ventura and Andrew Benintendi, as the 94 White Sox will win this Cross Era Showdown matchup in 3 games by the final score of 3-2. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode of Cross Era Showdown as we featured some college hit machines in Andrew Benintendi and the 2019 Red Sox as they took on Robin Ventura and the 1994 Chicago White Sox. Well, it seems we ran out of time for this week, and that will be a wrap on our first of 2 weeks as we continue to celebrate MLB Stars who played at the College Baseball World Series. But with that being said, week 2 is just around the corner, and let's see what's coming up next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour as we continue to highlight some of the MLB stars, both past and present, who played at the College Baseball World Series, as we are going to have a really nice, good rivalry here as the Chicago Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers go at it as we rewind the clock back to 2018. A featured player on the Brewers who played in the College Baseball World Series is Ryan Braun for the Milwaukee Brewers, who will come on top of this rivalry between the Cubs and the Brewers. Guess you're going to have to tune in next time here as we continue to celebrate MLB stars who played in the College Baseball World Series as part of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour that was being played with History Maker Baseball Express. We look forward to bringing you more matchups of Rivalry Night, World Series Rewind, Cross Era Showdown, and a blast from the past as we revisit some classic and memorable games from Major League Baseball throughout the 2026 Major League Baseball regular season.